There are people in this world who scare others with their discipline, not because they train harder, not because they have more time, but because they never stop, ever. You've seen them. That person at work who never misses a morning. That guy at the gym who has been there every single day for 3 years straight. While everyone around them burns out, they keep going. While everyone else is negotiating with their alarm clock, they're already done. And the terrifying part? They don't even struggle anymore. It looks effortless, like breathing, like they were built differently. They weren't. Today, you're going to discover the ancient Japanese system that produces exactly this kind of frightening, automatic, unstoppable discipline. A system so powerful that once it takes hold inside you, willpower becomes irrelevant. Because you won't be deciding to show up anymore. You'll simply be someone who does. But before we start, I need to warn you. This system requires you to destroy something inside yourself. Something you've been protecting your entire life without even knowing it. Subscribe now, hit the like button, and tell me in the comments the one habit that has defeated you every single time. Let's begin. His name was Marcus, 31 years old, software engineer living in Chicago. Smart guy, successful by every external measure. Good salary, nice apartment. People respected him at work. But Marcus carried a secret that was slowly eating him alive. He could not finish anything he started. Not one single habit had lasted more than 3 weeks in his entire adult life. Gym memberships. He bought 6 of them. Each one began with the same fire. New shoes, new playlist, new version of himself standing in front of the mirror saying this time is different. Each one was abandoned before the month was over. Books, 47 of them on his shelf. He had read the first chapter of 32. Reading journals. He bought 4 of them. The first 10 pages of each one were filled with perfect handwriting. The rest were blank. Waking up early. Every Sunday night, for 2 years, he set his alarm to 5 a.m. He hadn't made it past Wednesday once. The pattern never changed. Day 1, pure fire. Day 3, the first negotiation. Day 7, the first skip. Day 10, it was over. And every time it ended the same way. A quiet Sunday night promise to himself that next week would be different. Next week never was. Marcus tried everything the internet told him to try. Habit tracking apps. He downloaded 11 of them. Accountability partners. He had 3 different friends who were supposed to check on him. Cold showers to build discipline. A reward system with points and prizes. A punishment system where he donated money every time he failed. Nothing worked. And the worst part was not the failing. The worst part was that Marcus was a disciplined person at work. He never missed a deadline. He never showed up late to a meeting. He delivered every project on time. So why could he build a simple morning routine? Why could he not stick to 30 minutes of reading before bed? The answer that everyone gave him was always the same. You just need more motivation. You need to want it badly enough. You need a stronger why. Marcus had tried wanting it badly enough for 6 years. It had not worked once. Because Marcus, like almost everyone watching this, was fighting the wrong war entirely. He was trying to fix his motivation when motivation was never the problem. The real enemy was something nobody had ever named for him. Something so deeply embedded in the architecture of his own brain that no app, no partner, no reward system was ever going to reach it. Until the night he found the manuscript. Marcus had been falling down a research rabbit hole about Zen monasteries at 2 in the morning when he found it. A translated manuscript from Ai-Heiji Temple in Kyoto, written in 1247 by a monk named Dogen. And inside it was a single paragraph that stopped him completely. Dogen wrote that practice must continue without even a moment of gap. Not for illness, not for exhaustion, not for weather, not for emotion, not for any reason that exists under heaven. He called this principle Gyoji, continuous practice without interruption. Marcus read it 3 times. Then he read it again, because he had spent 6 years believing that the goal of discipline was to push through resistance, to fight through the hard days, to white-knuckle his way past the moments when he didn't feel like it. But Dogen was describing something completely different. He was not describing a battle. He was describing a transformation. The monks at Ai-Heiji did not wake up at 3:30 a.m. every morning for 800 years because they were fighting themselves. They woke up because the identity of monk had made the alternative impossible. There was no battle. There was no resistance. There was no negotiation. The bell rang. They rose. The practice happened, not because of willpower, because of identity. Marcus closed the laptop and sat in the dark for a long time. Then he picked up a pen and wrote on a piece of paper the following words. I'm a person who wakes up at 5 a.m., completes 20 push-ups, meditates for 10 minutes, and reads for 10 minutes. Every single day. No exceptions. He signed it. Then he did something that made his hands shake slightly. He took a photo of it and posted it to his social media. He texted it to his girlfriend. He mentioned it to 2 co-workers the next morning. His girlfriend said he was being dramatic. His co-workers smiled and nodded the way people do when they don't believe you. Perfect, because Marcus had just activated something inside his brain that 6 years of private promises had never touched. A Harvard neuroscientist who spent 15 years studying commitment and behavior discovered something that rewrites everything we think we know about willpower. When you make a public declaration, your primitive brain stops categorizing the behavior as optional. It reframes failure as a survival threat. Our ancestors who lost status in the tribe were cast out. Cast out meant death. Your brain is still running that same ancient code. The moment Marcus posted that declaration, skipping his morning practice stopped being an inconvenience. It became a threat to his identity, to his survival, to who he was in front of every person who had seen that post. Day 1 was clean. Day 2 was manageable. Day 3, his mind launched its first real attack. The alarm went off at 5 a.m., and immediately the voice started. You are exhausted. Your body needs rest. One day will not break anything. You can make it up tomorrow. But something fundamental had changed. The thought of opening social media and seeing that post while knowing he had quit after 72 hours was physically unbearable. The public declaration had done exactly what Dogen described. It had made stopping more painful than continuing. He got up. He did the push-ups. He sat in meditation. He read his 10 pages. Day 4 arrived. Day 5. Day 6. And then on day 7, his body stopped caring about his reputation entirely. The social pressure that had carried him through the first week was running out. His muscles were sore. His mind was begging for extra sleep. His biology was sending every signal it had to get him horizontal again. Because here is what no discipline guru on the internet will tell you directly. Social pressure can override your brain for about a week, maybe 2. But it cannot override 2 million years of human evolution indefinitely. Marcus needed the second principle, the one Dogen called katachi, the fixed form. Every single day, without realizing it, you are hemorrhaging the one resource that discipline actually runs on. Not motivation, not inspiration, not a strong enough why. Decision energy. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for willpower and self-control, runs on glucose. Every decision you make burns through that fuel. And most people are making the same decisions about their habits every single day without realizing it. Should I work out in the morning or tonight? Should I meditate before or after breakfast? Should I do 20 minutes or 30? Should I read fiction or nonfiction? These questions feel harmless. They are not harmless. They are drilling holes in your discipline tank before you even begin. Dogen's solution was ruthless in its simplicity. Remove every variable. Make the form completely fixed. Marcus did exactly this. 5 a.m., 20 push-ups, 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of reading. Same order, same timer, same location. Every single morning without variation. His friends called him robotic. His girlfriend said it was getting strange. He said nothing, because he had finally understood something that took Zen monks 800 years to encode into stone. Boring is not the enemy of discipline. Boring is discipline. When there is nothing to decide, there is nothing to negotiate. And when there is nothing to negotiate, the old self has no door to walk back through. The first week of the fixed form was brutal. Every morning his mind screamed for variety. This is stupid. You're not a monk. Normal people mix things up. You're going to burn out doing the exact same thing every single day. He ignored it. The second week, the screaming got quieter. Not gone, just quieter. Then something happened in week 3 that Marcus had never experienced before with any habit in his life. He started waking up 2 minutes before his alarm. Not because he was excited, not because he loved 5 a.m., but because his nervous system had begun preparing for what was coming. His body had accepted the pattern as permanent and was getting ready automatically. By day 30, he was halfway through his push-ups before his conscious mind had fully engaged with the day. The sequence was running itself. This is what Dogen meant by the form without mind. Not the absence of thought, but the presence of a pattern so deeply encoded that thought is no longer required to execute it. An MIT researcher who spent 12 years studying behavioral automatization confirmed what Dogen wrote in 1247. When an action is repeated in the same context for approximately 66 days, the basal ganglia take over completely. The behavior migrates from decision to program. Marcus was not choosing discipline anymore. He was running it. Day 35, Marcus woke up with a fever, sore throat, heavy limbs, the full collapse. And this is the exact moment where every single system he had ever tried before had died, because his old logic was automatic. Sick day equals rest day. Rest day equals broken streak. Broken streak equals I'll restart Monday. Restarting Monday equals never restarting at all. He knew that logic. He had lived inside it for 6 years. But Dogen's manuscript had addressed this moment directly. He wrote that a gap of even one day does not pause the practice. It resurrects the old self, because your brain does not experience a skip day as a pause. It experiences it as evidence. Evidence that the identity was always temporary. Evidence that the old patterns were the real ones all along. One skip does not break a habit. One skip reminds your brain that skipping is still an option. And once your brain knows skipping is an option, it will find reasons to use that option every time resistance appears. Marcus understood this. So on day 35 with a fever, he rolled out of bed and onto the floor. He did 2 push-ups. He sat up and closed his eyes for 60 seconds. He read 1 paragraph. Nothing was perfect. Everything maintained the thread. The streak survived not because he was extraordinary, but because he had already decided what a sick day looked like before the sick day arrived. This was the third and final principle of the Gyoji System. Yobi, pre-solved obstacles. And it is the principle that separates people who maintain consistency for years from people who maintain it for weeks. Zen monasteries have operated without missing a single day of practice for over 800 years. Through earthquakes, through fires, through famines and wars, and the complete collapse of the world outside their walls. How is this possible? The answer is simple, and it is not willpower. They do not make decisions when obstacles arrive. The decisions were made centuries ago. When a meditation hall floods, they move to the courtyard. When the courtyard is blocked, they sit in the corridor. There is no emergency meeting, no group discussion about what to do. The bell rings. The response is automatic, because the response was written before the obstacle existed. Marcus sat down on day 38 and wrote out every obstacle that had ever destroyed his consistency in the past. Sick, 2 push-ups, 1 minute of stillness, 1 paragraph. Traveling for work. Hotel room floor, meditation app on phone, book on phone. Guests staying at the house. Bathroom at 5 a.m., silent sequence, no exceptions. Running on no sleep. Minimum viable practice. Something always beats nothing. Every scenario had one predetermined response. When X happens, I do Y. No decision under stress. No negotiation in the moment of weakness. A Yale behavioral psychologist who studied decision-making for 20 years confirmed exactly this. Pre-commitment removes willpower from the critical moment entirely. Your self-control stays intact because it was never asked to decide. It was only asked to execute. Day 90 arrived. Marcus completed his Ango. 90 unbroken days. And here's what nobody prepares you for about what waits on the other side. He did not feel victorious. He did not feel proud. He did not feel the surge of achievement he had imagined for 3 months. He felt something completely different. He felt neutral. The practice had become as automatic as brushing his teeth, as unremarkable as breathing. And that neutrality was the most powerful thing he had ever felt, because it meant the negotiation was over. The version of Marcus who made deals with himself, who said tomorrow and meant never, who started over every Monday for 6 years, that person was simply gone. Not defeated, gone. His co-workers said he seemed different, more present, more decisive, less apologetic about who he was. His girlfriend stopped calling him dramatic and started asking what had changed. But here is the revelation. The thing Dogen wrote at the very end of the 1247 manuscript that almost nobody ever reaches because they stop reading before the last page. Dogen wrote this: "Practice does not exist to build the warrior. Practice exists to remove everything that was hiding him." Read it again slowly. Every single morning you showed up was not you constructing discipline from nothing. It was you removing the layers of noise and distraction and negotiation that were buried on top of something that was always already there. The warrior was never something you needed to become. He was something you needed to uncover. The apps could not do it. The motivation videos could not do it. The journals and the coaches and the reward systems could not do it, because none of them were removing anything. They were all trying to add something to a person who was never actually missing it. You were never undisciplined. You were buried, and now you know exactly how to dig. The Gyoji System, a public declaration that makes failure more painful than continuing. A fixed form that eliminates every decision before it can drain you. Unbroken continuity that permanently rewires your identity. Pre-solved obstacles that remove willpower from the equation entirely. This is not a habit system. This is an excavation. And what you find at the bottom is not a better version of yourself. It is the original one, the one that was always supposed to be standing here. If this reached something inside you, subscribe now and activate the bell so you never miss what comes next. And leave me one comment below. Not what habit you want to build. Tell me who you're going to uncover. See you in the next video.